so we're starting now on the bottom section of the ship, and I've already started using pastels to darken it up a bit here. And I just thought I would take a second just to show you how it's working out. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm using a brush that looks like this here. And the way I do this again is I just, so here along this section, what I do is I first apply a little pastel right here. And then I just spread it out, and just keep doing that. And a little bit more. And as you brush it, it just gets darker and darker. And you just keep doing that until you get to the darkness that you're looking for. Just like that. So you just keep working at the model. To get these darker spots, again, you just apply a bigger chunk of the pastel. Again, I'll just do it here, and you just brush away from it and you get the streak that you're looking for there. So I've already applied pastels along here and here, and eventually I'm going to mix in some brown pastels too, just to give us some color variation and to kind of duplicate rust. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that after I am done with the black. Alright, so I'll just keep moving along here, and I will show you an update here in just a second. Okay, just to give you an update here, I am now concentrating on dry brushing these open panels here. So essentially I started off with just coating the entire interior of this section here with just pastels, just really caking it on there. And once it was on, I applied a dull coat so it would stay in place. Now we want to give it the appearance of metal, and so what I'm doing then is dry brushing Tester's Metallizer Magnesium. So I'm taking a brush like this, it's kind of frayed and old, and just barely keeping any paint on here. I'm just kind of gently just brushing over the surface, and by doing so what you're doing is you're catching the corners in particular, the sharp edges, and as the paint gets applied on there, it gives it a metallic appearance. Kind of looks like it's all scratched up and stuff. So if you look here as well as here, you can see I concentrated pretty much on this corner edge here and along here. This is another example. And finally this section here as well. So it just kind of looks scratched up and worn. The other thing you can see is I've used brown pastels now to give a simulation of rust and some dirt buildup there. And I'm in the process now of doing this section here, and I will finally finish up with this one here. And let's look over here towards the bottom section. You can see I've added some brown pastels here as well, and I've worked on some dry brushing there also, and over here as well. So yeah, things are coming along here. We're getting close to completion. I'm going to go ahead and finish the dry brushing of the upper hull, and I will give you an update here shortly. Okay, it's time to move on to the cockpit area. Now, if you have seen and followed the build by Randy Cooper, you can see that he has done an excellent job building out the cockpit. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, there are a lot of different pieces you can buy for this kit, and the cockpit is one of them. You can purchase those pieces at shapeways.com, which incidentally is where I got this cone here. The cone came with just the open windows. Everything was cut out, as I've shown you earlier. And this is my approach here. Since I'm not going to build out the cockpit because those pieces to do so are expensive, I decided just to fill in the windows with styrene plastic that's been painted black. Essentially what I used was this Evergreen Scale Models clear styrene plastic, and what I did was I took paper and figured out the pattern that would need to fit into the cone, and this is a test piece here, and so you cut that out and paint it black on one side, and that way it leaves the other side glossy. Reason I'm not using this piece is it just got all scratched up, so I need a second one, and that's what we installed here. And of course then the styrene plastic gives it the illusion of glass. And it was attached from the inside with hot glue. Now one setback I did have yesterday was, as you see in this picture, there's a gray panel that's here. And I attempted to do that yesterday. I masked off the panel there, but when I peeled out the masking tape, it also took away the paint. So I'm not sure if that's a function of the way I primed it and painted it, or if it's just this plastic doesn't hold paint very well. But I'm not going to repeat that mistake today. I'm just going to hand paint that area there, and then detail the rest of it with pastels using our reference pictures here. So that's something to keep in mind if you decide to get this piece from Shapeways. Just be careful as you mask off areas. And what I did was I took off most of the paint, resanded it, and then primed it with a different primer. I used Tamiya's primer, and then painted it with our camouflage gray. Alright, so I'll go ahead and get started on that, and I'll show you when it's completed. And here it is completed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on now and start putting the ship together. First thing I'm going to install are the lights, the engine piece, and then we'll go from there. Okay, just to show you now how I'm attaching the grill for the engine, I just placed it into position, and all I'm doing is using super glue at different points here, along with an accelerator to hold it in place. After this is set down, then we'll put the styrene plastic backing right behind it. Okay, here we now have the grill in position, and by the way, I used Tamiya's light gunmetal as the paint color for the grill. And now we also have the styrene plastic that has been installed as well. And this of course is the styrene piece that I frosted over by using fine sandpaper. Okay, so everything's in position here. The next step now is to install the lights. Alright guys, here we now have the completed Millennium Falcon Hasbro conversion. This again measures about 2 feet in length from front to back. So last we left I was installing the grill. There really wasn't much left to do, so I went ahead and just powered through it and put everything together. You can see, let me go ahead and take a look at the engines first. This again is the photo etch grill that's in place here. There are 5mm flickering LEDs. These are cool white LEDs. There's 6 of them in there. And I kind of like the way it turned out. You can see a little bit of separation from the LEDs, but I think it looks pretty good that way. And the cool white gives it this sort of bluish color that you see here right now. And they are accessed and powered first of all by a 9-volt battery, and they are accessed underneath here at this panel. This one is held in place by magnets, and you simply pull it off and you can gain access to the switch there. The side panelings are something that I'm pretty happy with. They fit into place quite nicely there. I think they look much better, of course, than the stickers. And you can see, even though that it's not an 100% accurate representation, they fill in the gaps pretty well, and overall ends up making a pretty nice facsimile of the ship. Pretty happy also with the way the detailing worked out. One of the things about this project, as you saw, there really wasn't much in terms of building. The model just comes with the 2 main pieces, along with some of the other peripheral parts here, including the cockpit and the antenna and so forth. But other than that, really most of it is painting and detailing. And this is one of the things I enjoy doing the most, is weathering. And the fun thing about Star Wars ships is that you can really make them look beat up and battle worn and so forth, and it's pretty fun to really do that sort of stuff. And just looking at the cockpit real quick, I'm happy with the way that turned out as well. Using the clear styrene and painting it black works out pretty nicely here. And you can see I custom built a stand, and so let me just take a second just to show you that in more detail. Alright, this is just a design I came up with on my own. I just wanted to make it look like something that you see on Star Wars, like on the Death Star or whatever, but basically just a pattern that I created here using the same techniques with scratch building the side panels, just taking pieces of styrene plastic, cutting them out in different shapes, and just laying it out like you see. There are 4 3mm blue LEDs here as well, I should say cool white LEDs. And if you recognize this piece as being from the 1/350 scale Enterprise, that's where it's from. I just thought it looked cool, and just was an extra piece I had from one of the nacelles. I have 4 aluminum rods here that have been spaced to go into the holes, which is one advantage of not covering them, at least. I did not cover the holes here at all. You can't really see the underside anyway, so I decided just to leave them as they are. But I took advantage of them using these 4 here as the support areas for the stand. And this is powered by a 9-volt battery, and I was able to place a switch back here. And the last thing I wanted to show you here were how the LEDs from the stand shine up at the model, just to kind of highlight some of the detailing I put here on the underside. And the final thing I wanted to note here is I removed the center support here. There's a screw that goes right in the middle that hooks from the bottom to the top. And when you do so, there is no longer any way to bring this part of the hull together. So there was a tiny little bit gap up here. I tried to address that by adding a little bit more styrene here along the edge, so it covered most of it, but that is one thing that happens when you do remove that center screw. So if you do this project, not sure you want to do that, it's up to you, but certainly they do make some resin pieces that you can add here along the way that fit quite nicely along the rear, and that'll probably solve that issue as well. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this project. It was certainly a lot of fun to do. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me as usual at interstellarmodeler@gmail.com or leave a comment here on my YouTube channel. As always, I thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free again to contact me, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.